questions for me are, I strum this stop please, it's the first time we've done it on a farm walk and we're learning about what's going on here. Just to put this into context, one of the key things we're trying to do on the farm is actually improve our soil structure, increase our organic matter and improve water quality leaving the farm. The one thing we know from our journey in soils is there's no quick and easy fix whatever we try to do. The background to the soil stuff on here is the research started here about 16-17 years ago into soils. We've got a wealth of knowledge about tram lines, cultivations and how stuff work, and Alistair and the team took the decision to try to move to a direct drill system from 2011 onwards. A little bit of background, that took us 4 years. It doesn't happen overnight. We did it for a year and then we got the plough out, and that's for really good agronomic reasons. They're lots to do with late crops, wheat on the floor, followed by another cereal. The only solution was to plough. But our principle is to get to the minimum possible cultivation appropriate for the crops that we're growing at the right time, and don't be zealots about it. Try and make it all work together. You've seen some permanent grass. We're going to go and have a look at some temporary grass lays in a minute, but just before we do that, it's worth, look, the fields behind us over the hedgerow at the back, they are ryegrass, clover and lucerne lays, and they're managed by next door and they're on our farm. That's how we get our mixed farming bit. They go around for 3 years and it helps us with blackgrass. If it does nothing else, it's got rid of a blackgrass problem. The field you're going to look at where we've just direct drilled into this year, we went 4. So flexibility, understanding, going and looking. The first year they go in, it's quite incredible. It's all blackgrass. You wonder where on earth all the ryegrass and clover's gone. So, but it is working.
And what crop do you put in after the grass?
Wheat.
Do you?
Yeah. That's what we've done. We're in our third year of doing it. So that's what we've done, and you'll see what it looks like when we go and have a look later in the next stop. It's not perfect, but it's actually doing us a job.
And why wheat?
Just because it can take advantage of the nitrogen that's there, the structure, and it's worked for us. I know Phil's thinking about what else we could do, but that's what we've done for the first 3 years.
Then to establish the wheat, how do you do that?
You'll see when we get there. We'll take that when we get there, but basically spray and direct drill. So our principle is to try and improve soil quality, structure, like I've said. And one of the drivers behind that is slowing the flow and actually understanding how much water, not just the quality, actually leaves the farm. So this is something that Chris has put in over this last winter, and the idea here is for us to really understand what a leaky dam does and really get a handle on how it works. So there's a full weather station in the field, just the arable field at the back there, called Paradise. It's the worst field on the farm. Farm names really make me chuckle. Let's call it Paradise, and it's horrible. But we've got a full weather station up there, so we know everything that's happening weather-wise. We measure the rainfall, and then quite a clever bit and rudimentary way, there's measuring sticks either side of the dam. There's a trail cam. So that's regularly updating pictures. So when it's rained, we know how long it takes for the water to get into here, how long it takes for the water level to rise, and how much it rises each side and what it does. Don't ask us what happens in a big rainfall event, because we haven't had one yet. But what we do know is 7 mil of rain is enough for, in 5 hours time, for the water to have risen in this flashy stream. So it's up to 30 centimetres deep on this side and only 15 on this side. So we're actually seeing the physical effects of this thing working in a system and holding the water back. The bit that Chris has done, which is really clever, Chris knows the peak flows further downstream on the Ibrook, so he knows the impact that this sort of thing's going to actually make. And our aim here is over time to build up a data set, demonstrate to people how easily it can work and actually exactly what it does in this sort of situation. So it's a really simple, easy way of measuring, just a camera onto there and understanding what happens.
Say a few words about the arable equivalent.
Yes, so the other way of doing this, where we've got a lot of experience, is actually looking in a discrete catchment, which again this is 10 hectares, all under drained, and looking at how quickly the sediment ponds and traps rise, how quickly the water level goes up, and how much that works for flood attenuation as well, so actually slowing the flow and keeping the water back. A lot have seen that experiment. It comes field ditch on the far side of a hedge, diverted into a settlement pond, and the original idea was to look at how that got rid of sediment load. And on our soil type, it didn't. And that's purely and simply because have got very, very heavy clay with really, really fine particulate matter. So where people say that this sort of structure will help drop out soil particles, for our soil type it won't. And that sediment pond experiment up there's proved that. But that's what taught us the lesson about these things work in terms of slowing the flow. And what the other thing that Chris does, we have a big project called the Water Friendly Farming Project, spread out across 3 discrete 1,500 hectare catchments, and these sorts of measures have been put in place by farmers in one of those to look at peak flow right at the end of their catchment. So we're actually really proving that it works and putting some numbers behind it. Yeah.
Have you ever seen people do this leaky dam concept with like a rock, almost like a French drain type system that holds it back and lets it through?
I'm not aware of that, but I'm sure there are some fairly ingenious ways of doing it. And there'll be lots of different ways of constructing your own. The important thing is actually slowing the flow down and holding it back. But the key to all of that is to get your soil right in the field first, particularly where you're cultivating. It's really important because that then acts as a sponge, so it's holding as much water back as it can. I never get my head around the concept you actually need a well-drained, good functioning drainage system to make it all work, so that the sponge can hold its maximum, release it and put it into features like this, and that actually really starts to maximise how the system works.
The sheep worked out how to get across here yet?
I was expecting that when I walked around yesterday, Stephen. I'm thinking, I'll bet one has.
Yeah.
They get hungry enough.
Yeah, it won't take long. Little ring of wire.
Okay. Okay, well.